Attention all podcasts of the Solar Federation. We have assumed control. We have assumed control. We have assumed control.
The Intergalactic Boombox.
Hey, so why do ducks have tail feathers?
I don't know.
To cover their butt quacks.
Welcome to the Intergalactic Boombox. I'm your host, Kyle Hebert, voice actor from the upcoming Dragon Ball Superhero in theaters in North America, August 19th, and select theaters in IMAX.
What?
We don't have sponsors, but if we did, they'd include the likes of Krusty Krig's Cut-Off Crust Castle. If you ever wondered where all the sandwich crusts go when your kids say to cut them off, there's your sign. And we'd be nothing without the soft, dulcet tones of the A Cappella Symphony Orchestra. Hey-oh! Ryan O'Dowd recently posted, if you invert the lyrics to Rick Astley, you get 9-inch nails.
I will give you up. I will let you down. I will run around and hurt you.
So instead of getting Rickrolled, you get Resnered. Let's check out our Sat Cats. The new feature on Fountain.fm, that free podcast player app, has kicked in where you can earn while you listen and then reshare it back to podcast. And this show suddenly got a whole lot of new listeners this past week. And I got more Boostagrams than you can shake a stick at.
Oi, 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 slow to row, slow to row.
Everyone shiggles, everyone.
Hello. Also, excuse me, tentacles.
Okay.
I need me a pedicure.
Oh, of course.
Why would you want to shake a stick at anybody? Is it like to impress people with your amazing shaking skills?
Hey, Captain, I got this. Excuse me.
And a wild Gitz appears, everybody. Yet another of our resident aliens on board.
Well, you see, Shiggles forgot his meds again.
Right.
Hey, Shiggy Smalls, everybody knows that shaking a stick refers to warning other people how you'll beat them with it. It's like, he got a stick, it's about to get real up in here.
No, guys. It's actually an old phrase referring to farmers controlling which direction their sheep would go with sticks or staffs. Come to think of it, I wonder if that works with aliens.
It's all good in the hood, boss man. I can read the room. Shigs, let's make like a stick and beat it.
Okay.
Now on to our Sat Cats. Lucas says, you have a good show. 10 sats from Fountain. Daniel M092 says, excellent. 10 sats from Fountain. Joel W. sent 316 sats and says, there actually is at least one known security flaw with Teslas. There's always a security flaw. Jean, Z-H-A-N, hope I'm saying that right, boosted 29 sats from Fountain and says, value back, buddy. Zeppelin says, namaste. Boost 10 sats. Anonymous sent fire and boosted 475 sats. Joel W. also sent 33 sats. Pickle juice is amazing. I like it. Tippinon4 sent 5 sats and says pools are great for holding water.
That's some weird, wild stuff. I did not know that.
Joel W. also sent another 333 sats and says, I don't game, rarely watch new movies or TV, so I'm quite clueless about what is being discussed on this podcast usually. However, I do find it entertaining as hell regardless. Thank you, Joel. Send your Boostagrams, custom messages, custom amounts, using Fountain or a Podcasting 2.0 app from newpodcastapps.com.
The question of the week.
You hear about Podcasting 2.0 here every episode. Now, what do you think about it? And believe it or not, I didn't get any responses beyond one. An anonymous user says, I think Podcasting 2.0 is the future, and also I think sats are currently way undervalued. A lot of people following my own voice actor Twitter, at Kyle Hebert, were like, I don't know what Podcasting 2.0 is. Well, hopefully if you're listening to this podcast, you'll check out newpodcastapps.com and Google what Podcasting 2.0 is. It's the future of podcasting, man. It's the ability to see images and chapters and transcripts and sending micropayments. It's stuff that Spotify and Apple and Google and all the big names, they're not onto this yet. And I suggest Fountain because it makes it easier than ever. It creates a wallet for you, and you listen to podcast, you get paid in sats or little bits of Bitcoin. Little micropayments, little fractions of a penny. And then that gathers up in your wallet. And then as you listen to this podcast, for example, you can stream any amount back to me, the podcaster. Value for value.
Question.
Have you ever walked out of a movie? And if so, which one? Now, I've seen my fair share of god-awful movies, but I don't recall ever actually walking out. Now, there's many I wished I walked out of just to save time and sanity. Stephen King admits walking out of the first Michael Bay Transformers.
I walked out of Top Gun Maverick.
Really, Gits?
Yeah, when it was over.
Boo! Get out of here. Come on.
Right, now now's as good a time as any to use me tentacles as propellers and fly around the danger zone.
Oh, I didn't know you could fly, Shiggles. Hey, Gits, here, hand me that spray.
The one that says flying alien repellent?
Yeah, hurry up.
Oh no!
What's the matter, Shiggles?
I've lost that loving feeling.
Just read a cool article on Slash Film about how they were able to get the replicant's eyes to shine in that creepy cool way on the original Blade Runner. Legend special effects artist, the late Douglas Trumbull, was tasked by director Ridley Scott decades before CG. Let's ask a TikTok bot and tell us how they ended up doing it.
You have a sheet of glass, which is half mirror, and the mirror is mounted on the camera in front of the lens at a 45-degree angle.
Oh, math. Oh, man.
And on one side, just behind the camera, a very small light, which is on a dimmer.
Okay.
You just turn it up with the subject sitting here, looking straight into the camera.
Yeah.
You turn up this light, which is reflecting from the mirror into the lens, but has not been photographed in the camera.
Wow.
And when she moved, you got golden light on it from the retina.
Dude.
Genius.
Right? Why does she sound slightly angry? And why do I have this strange urge to click on something and purchase it? A lot of people ask me many things. What are you wearing? Can I borrow $5? But they also ask me about my career in voice acting. I've been doing VO for 22 years, and that includes a lot of video games. And unlike with anime, very little visual elements are ready as the game is still being worked on. But I did once get to play an early test version of a Bleach game, Soul Resurrection, the day I recorded as Aizen, the main villain there. I had the console set up in the booth. Now, we didn't actually record while the gameplay's going on. That's just not how it's done. Actors aren't given info regarding different modes or game mechanics, but instead are told generalities about the plot and the context for their character. And honestly, that's really all an actor needs. Background is meant more for the player, like the extreme detail, all the world building stuff. Each line of the script is recorded into a computer using a recording app like Pro Tools. That's the industry standard. Actors record one at a time, generally, and if we're adopting a Japanese or other country's game into English, we usually have to match the timing of the original performance of each line or reaction. The dialogue is recorded first, while the fight and death sounds come at the end, usually in sets of 3. Now, during the pandemic, sessions would happen remotely, which is where the voice talent records at home and uses apps like Source Connect or Session Link Pro to digitally meet with engineers and clients online, while other visual elements will be piped through Zoom or Skype. I love recording at home. There's no sitting in traffic and pants are optional. Sometimes I'd be asked to do a backup recording on my end and then Dropbox it to the studio afterwards. Doesn't matter how great your gigabit internet connection is, there's always going to be dropouts. And lately I've been directing mobile games like Mobile Legends Bang Bang, and the voice talent script is basically a list of callouts that happen as the player moves around the battlefield. And context isn't necessarily needed for the actor, as most lines center around being confident and cocky and powerful. But if the dialogue references something unknown, I have the client on Zoom to help clarify details. Now, other times, context is everything. Think about all the different ways you can say no. 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 What I need to know is what was said to lead to that response. What is the character's mood? Are you seeing an axe come at your head, or is it a restaurant waiter asking you if you want to try the mousse pâté? Once in a while, there'll be a reference video clip that shows a character's attack move, and the script will show the line, but the video demonstrates that the character is clearly running, jumping, making different sounds, clashing against other weapons or surfaces. So what we'll do is we'll preview that clip, and then I'll tell the voice actor to chase the video, as in react with the appropriate sound to the action they see on screen. The audio engineer can then bump the audio files into place. Reaction sounds can come in 3 different intensities, kind of like 3 different sizes of fries, small, medium, large. And there's also 3 different varieties: closed mouth, open mouth, clenched teeth. Small, medium, large. Closed mouth, open mouth, clenched teeth. Jumping, landing, swimming, gasping, crying, laughing, being electrocuted, being set on fire, death screams. They can be fun when the director says to make it extra juicy and squishy and gurgly. Save that guy for later. Now, there are guys in LA that specialize in creature sounds like D. Bradley Baker, Fred Tatasciore, Frank Welker, more recently, Kellen Goff. These dudes are inhuman. They bring all sorts of monsters, aliens, and wildlife right off the page, and they manage to get through hours and hours of recording without hurting their vocal cords. Even death metal singers will tell you it's all in the placement of your mouth and diaphragm, how you expel the air, if it's through the nostrils, the back of the throat, etc. And like, really? In the middle of east of the Rockies, you are on the air. Why, Karen? Why do you need to speak to a manager?
Because this segment is boring. You're not telling me what I really want to know.
And what's that?
How can I become a voice actor? Duh.
You can't. Bye. I do encourage anybody else to take a gander at iwannabeavoiceactor.com. It's a great website. Tons of helpful tips, advice, info, basically outlining what you need to do. First and foremost, become an actor. You can't just be a fan or want to voice anime or be a guest at a con. It's professional business, and we need professional people to take their professional craft professionally. And seriously, in order to navigate these super competitive waters, you take classes, you get experience, you get training, even practice at home. This site will tell you not only what to do, but what not to do. I'm not getting any kickbacks here. They're not a sponsor. It's just a great resource for the curious. iwannabeavoiceactor.com. Conspiracy here from my top-secret underground bunker in Pahrump, Nevada. No, you can't stay with me while the aliens take over the planet. And now, all the news you can't use. Page 1. A woman in Austin, Texas had to respond to constant messages that her dog was up on her roof by putting up a sign, quote, "Huckleberry is living up to his name and learned how to jump onto our roof from the backyard. We never leave him in the backyard without someone being at home. He will not jump off unless you entice him with food or a ball. We appreciate your concern, but please do not knock on our door. We know he's up there."
Come and knock on our door.
Hey, I'm broadcasting
We've been
here.
waiting for
Stop
you.
it. Herbert. Kirk,
You better
shut up.
learn to relax more, Ken, or Huck will poop on you too.
Why don't you go take a seat in the no IQ section?
I love you, Ken.
Page 2. It's bad enough when you have to travel by plane, being stuck in an air coffin for hours on end, surrounded by butt horns who cough and hack and wheeze the whole time, while a bunch of little demons run up and down the aisles. One poor soul did what most anybody would do. Just bury yourself in your earbuds or your phone or Nintendo Switch. This is what Redditor Atlanta did on a recent Southwest Airlines flight. Problem was, the neighbors across the aisle, comprised of a mom and her youngling, were trying to get their attention. The mom wanted to borrow Atlanta's Switch to pacify her son. Total stranger. Understandably, they were uncomfortable, but this high-maintenance harpy was insistent she borrow the handheld console because her kid needed something to do. Tell you what, lady, what say we have you try out the new ejection seats? Try and land in one piece. That'll keep you occupied. Page 3. An idiot in Florida attempted to steal an R2-D2 statue worth $10,000 from Walt Disney World. Bonehead had applied for a security job and thought wearing a Disney name tag and work uniform could pull off a droid heist and make him look more appealing to the company by exposing holes in the park's security. David Emerson Proudfoot now faces third-degree grand theft charges and obstruction by false information. Not so proud of your feet now, are ya? And I'm spent. That's all the news you can't use. Conspiracy here from my dump in Pahrump.
Aw, look at the time.
The Intergalactic Boombox is part of a highly unbalanced, questionably nutritious breakfast. Guests of the show stay in an extravagant 5-star broom closet with a complimentary hardcover copy of Armpits of the Rich and Famous. Remember, kids, when you see the world through serene eyes, you generate peace wherever you go. Unless you forget your glasses. Then you just plummet straight off the cliff. Till next time, totals.